This just in, breaking news from the rock fight. Rumors are swirling about a merger between two outdoor footwear titans. While news blackout protocols are in effect, we are unable to name brands involved in the transaction. However, this hasn't stopped wild speculation from populating LinkedIn that a monster re-release is in the works. Plans for a potential collab were recently spotted near a local watering hole, adding to the frenzy. The new item, called Jungle Croc, comes in at 17 feet long and contains nearly 900 pounds of proprietary closed-cell resin Fury. Placing the new shoe has reportedly been difficult, as floor models consistently eat their smaller trail-running neighbors, with some Jungle Crocs even taking down the occasional 10-inch logger boot or small child who's touching things they were told not to.
All right, while that may not be true, you know what is true? Ibex Merino is as home in your shop as Dale's in a drag bag. We're talking authentic heritage, real sustainability, privately owned, and of course, premium performance that has become legendary. From everyday essentials like the goat tee to expedition-ready pieces like the Mammoth hoodie, Ibex has a premium merino layer ready to outfit any of your customers. Schedule some time with the Ibex team at GOA Connect in Kansas City this November. Ibex Premium Merino. And that's not a croc.
Rock fight, rock fight, rock fight, rock fight, rock fight, rock fight.
Welcome to the Rock Fight, where we speak our truth, slay sacred cows, and sometimes agree to disagree. This is an outdoor podcast that aims for the head. I'm Colin True, and joining me today, if you're in Portland and see a big fireworks display over Forest Park, don't look at Arc'teryx. You know it was producer Dave.
Hello, yes, you got me. You got me, Colin. You got me.
Are you going to issue, a statement to the city of Portland for scaring all the woodland animals of Forest Park?
The thing about living here is that people won't even notice. They won't know if it's Antifa. Is it an ICE protest?
Right.
Is it maybe a fun run? Who knows? But there's all sorts of reasons for lad booms.
We are going to obviously talk a little bit about the Arc'teryx situation as it's come to be known, and coming up later in this episode. Before that, though, we have some programming reminders for you. And also, Owen not here today. Anyone expecting to hear...
What?
What?
He's not here?
He's not here. Owen's off golfing with some buddies. Very outdoorsy of him.
Oh, I see.
But
sand traps and water hazards.
Right. But some programming reminders before we get into what Dave and I are going to talk to. We never want you, the listener, to miss an episode of The Rock Fight. So please click follow on the podcast app you're using right now. Also, tomorrow, Doug Schnitzbahn will be opening the container like he always does on Tuesday. And then on Thursday, you'll get an all-new episode of Gear Abby with host Shante Salabert, who answers all your outdoor burning questions. Be sure to follow Open Container and Gear Abby on your favorite podcast app. And Dave, can you let our listeners know how they can get, more from the Rock Fight and maybe even, reach out to us if they feel so inclined?
Well, certainly. You can subscribe to the Rock Fight News from the Front, our newsletter, our weekish newsletter, sometimes weekly, never meekly. Head to rockfight.co and sign up today. Or you can email me, at myrockfight@gmail.com. You can reach out on LinkedIn, search the Rock Fight, go to Instagram, which is Rockfight Co., one word. Maybe smoke signals would be appropriate this day for sure. But I want to say, Gear Abby's crushing it.
It really is. Yeah. Like out of the gates,
right.
Just so satisfying.
Yeah. It's great to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are good.
It's getting some attention. People are writing in. Like I'm not even kidding. They're absolutely getting more emails than the Rock Fight, and we have at this point way more listeners. So it's great. It's a fun show. So please check it out if you haven't. And like I said, no Owen today, but even without our consigliere, producer Dave and I are going to hit on some more notable headlines come out of the outdoor industry. But first, we have some recent, retail updates to share. So the last few weeks have been full of retail news, as we've talked about notable retailers who are calling it quits. And unfortunately, we have another one of those to talk about. Per SGB, Henderson, North Carolina's Sherman Outdoor Sports has announced they'll also be closing. It's a 103-year-old outdoor retailer who has worn many hats over their time. Most recently, they were known for selling hiking goods, though, and the current third-generation owners are retiring, and no one in the family interested in taking on the business. So, Dave, another outdoor retailer bites the dust. I mean, we're about to share some more positive retail stories. But I think the one takeaway from all these conversations the past couple of months is that we have too much stock in saving the outdoor retailers we know, because there's often no path in them staying open when the current owner is just ready to punch out.
Yeah. No, I think it's more about what they represent in kind of the meta sense than even in the simple business sense, right? This is a way of doing business. It's like the five and dime and the kind of the drugstore, the corner drugstore that kind of had a little bit of everything, and the kind of the lunch counter piece to it. It's just going away. We're just not doing business in this same way.
With the ones that we know of, because there's some positive news out there, and another one that I want to share now, because even though it was, and also an existing retailer in Wisconsin, where they're losing Rutabaga Paddle Sports, there's some good news coming out of that state. So first up is Sherpers, who has 3 locations in Wisconsin, and they're celebrating their 90th anniversary, making a big deal about it. So I want to highlight them. Congratulations to 90 years of Sherpers. If you're a Sherpers customer, you go check them out for their celebration.
They're carrying the entire state on their back?
Not entirely, because I want to read an email we received from Kate Felton, who's the owner of the recently opened Eau Claire Outdoors. And Kate sent a great email, but this is sort of highlights from it. So Kate writes to us, in 2023, she was ready for something new. So I decided to take a leap and create a community that I've been wishing for 15 years, and opened Eau Claire Outdoors in November. Eau Claire is a pretty small town with a population of only 70,000 people, but we are the cultural and economic anchor of our region here in northwestern Wisconsin. I opened Eau Claire Outdoors purely with love of the outdoors and an annoyingly persistent can-do attitude.
You guys would get along.
Yeah, seriously. And truthfully, the jury is still out about whether this is really going to work. Thanks also in general for everything you do. As a complete newbie in our industry, your podcast has really been a lifeline for me in understanding the nuances of this industry, and it has shaped how I've thought strategically about my business. And some Gear Abbey love. I'm also already loving Gear Abbey. Shantae is amazing. It makes me so happy that a lady adventurer is being featured.
There you go. That's great.
So, Kate, thanks for the email. That's exciting. Glad we played even a small role in you opening a store. That's incredible. So thank you, Kate, for writing in. Appreciate it. And keep us posted on how it's going up in Eau Claire.
And look, I should say, anybody out there who's fighting the good fight, running the stores, trying to make it happen, and you've got an anniversary, you got some positive news, send it to us.
Yeah.
Like this is just great. So we want to hear about people that are like I said, making it happen.
Totally. Last thing before we get into kind of our main thing we're going to talk about today, I wanted to respond to someone who commented on the Rock Fight recently. I think it was on Spotify, and they took us to task for calling Marmot a zombie brand last year.
Spotify?
Yeah, they did a little comment over on Spotify.
Cool.
They questioned that what could we possibly know about what happens at Marmot? And I wanted to respond with, there's 2 things. One, the people inside Marmot right now basically affirmed our point of view when one of them came on the podcast, and a lot of folks that we spoke to over there. And 2, and most importantly, the changes that John Graydon and crew have implemented, they're bearing fruit. So I had a chance this week to chat with one of Marmot's field sales reps, and they told me that during this most recent selling cycle, they have opened more new Marmot accounts than they have in over 8 years. So, not saying that, they're done seeking brains and lumbering around the outdoor industry, but maybe the cure's on the way. So good for you, Marmot. I was happy you get to hear that this week.
That is good news. Brains.
Well, speaking of good news, Dave, today we're going to play a game of good news or bad news. All right.
Okay.
I'm going to bring up a recent story to come out of the outdoor industry, and we're going to decide if this was good news, bad news, maybe both. We're going to see.
Okay.
All right. So first up.
All right. Let's go.
So this is the first good news, bad news. According to a press release on Outdoor Sports Wire, outdoor apparel brand Rab has introduced a new lineup of Gore-Tex-based shells that complete their journey to have their whole shell line be PFAS-free, okay? I think there's a couple of good news, bad news items in here. First, is this good news for Rab? Okay, this aligns with their brand ethos, and in a year where we haven't been able to talk about really new products, it's kind of nice to have a distraction like this as retailers are looking towards their winter and holiday sales to have some new kind of product information. So, good news for Rab, Dave?
Okay, well, look... Is it good news? Yes, of course. They're moving to a PFAS-free alternative. But come on, it's a little like, Home Depot announcing we've got lead-free pipes. I mean, it's just like, yeah, like we've been on this train for a long time. It's Gore-Tex. It's taken until this time to get here, which, again, they've been moving on it since like, 2016, they've started with their
right.
2018 in terms of the DWRs. But I mean, come on, fans of the Roman Empire might be upset about the pipes, but everyone else has moved on, right? So we've just it's kind of par for the course here. And you know what? They got a new line. They got to pay for that expensive Gore-Tex license, so they got to get it out there. So it makes sense to put in a press release.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to back off that it's good news for Rab, but it is a little like you kind of have to also if you want to sell in a couple of really big markets.
You mean like California and New York?
Right.
That it's now required for sure. No, like I said though, but that we've got to move all of that. The fact that there is still people selling. Well, look, and you could still buy PFAS product from Gore-Tex up until this kind of fall.
Yeah.
Right. So it's going to be in the marketplace for a while. It's not going to go away. So it's going to be out there. So there's going to be, I'd be happier if Gore-Tex was more transparent as to these are the items that we've sold that have it in it.
Right.
As opposed to, hey, this is our new PFAS free. Like, no, tell me what's the ones that have it in it. They don't do that, right? And I suppose, though, if you do want to go deeper, friend of ours, Meg Carney, and her Outdoor Minimalist podcast,
yes,
does go deeper on it. So it's out there especially in our industry, which I also just find that interesting that from the Outdoor Minimalist, we have a 10-part series called Forever Chemicals. That's totally properly named for sure. But it's deep, man. But
hey, speaking of Meg, she had on Wes Seiler last week.
Oh,
on her
no
podcast.
kidding.
Yeah, so go hear what Wes has to say about outside. We talked about it a little bit here on the show, but I think that was a good conversation.
So yes, boo PFAS, yay Rab. Okay, let's go.
I mean, look, if you want to bring some positive attention to yourself, right, and good for you, Rab. But there is, on the conversely though, it's been kind of a quiet PFAS year. I mean, PFAS was arguably the story of 2024 in the outdoors. I think we talked about a lot. So is this bad news for PFAS?
Yeah, I suppose that's good though. Like it's. I never thought of it that way, Colin, but you're
PFAS
absolutely
is like,
right.
come on, man. Like, leave me alone.
Man, right? Remember the good old days where we could just hide in a farmer's field and no one would say anything?
It does seem like it's something that probably needs to be brought up a little bit more. And I actually was talking to somebody who's going to come on the podcast in a couple of weeks, Alex Laver, who used to be at Outdoor Research and knows a lot about this topic to kind of give us a PFAS update with where we are with things. But
well,
yeah.
It's not in our industry, but there was good news for PFAS this week in that the Defense Department announced that they were pausing all of their cleanup efforts on bases, specifically having to do with forever chemicals, because of course they are. Right.
The Teflon resurgence. It's
That's
underway.
Right. Of course,
it's coming back.
Doing that. Right.
Right.
So anyway,
big
that was
oil and Teflon.
Yeah,
it's like 1962.
Win, big win for PFAS for sure.
Next up on the good news, bad news. And this is one I'm just going to kind of clear out for you. Okay.
Okay.
So Costco's private label brand Kirkland introduced a collab with Nike. Have you seen this?
I have seen this, Colin.
So,
oh my
photos
gosh.
of the Kirkland Nike SB Dunk Low have been leaked, and it basically looks like a Nike Dunk, but made out of a heather gray Kirkland sweatshirt. When it's released, it's going to cost $135. So, Dave, we've been pretty positive on Nike the last few weeks around here. Is this good news or bad news for Nike?
See, okay, this one threads a needle here. We talked about Hydro Flask and their Costco business, right? And it's like, well, see,
that was bad news.
Right, that was bad news. And so, but this technically isn't a Costco of your main line. It is a collab with their brand. So it is a difference. And I think that's the big difference here. I like it. They're kind of sticking true to what the brands mean. They're going after the kind of the iconic, like you said, the hoodie kind of color.
Yeah.
Which this is. They've also got hidden under the cushioning as a reference to the $1.50 hot dog and soda, which is fantastic. A little gem hidden in there. I was looking around on this. High Snobiety described Kirkland as the anti-hype gold, right? And an ironic flex of middle America, which Let me just say that whole sentence is just awesome to say. Just the whole idea of high snobiety, anti-hype, and ironic flex. But they're not wrong. It has turned into this symbol, and so Nike's leaning into the brand piece of this, not necessarily the economics of merchandising, right? And they're not putting the line necessarily out there. So it's a one-off piece. It's still $135, right? They're not.
That's what I was going to.
They're not degrading the pricing of that. You could say that they're. How do the kids say? Their aura. They're preserving their aura, right? But no,
well,
I like it.
I think if it was at a shoe shop, it'd probably be more like a $200 shoe or $225 shoe. But this is still like the Costco price, but it's still $135, right?
And it's a dunk low, so they're kind of keeping in there. They didn't, break out everything for it. But no, I think it's the way to do it. It's smart.
Yeah,
Definitely
I do think
smart.
Hydro Flask is out there right now going, hey. You guys got so mad when we sold to Costco. Yeah, because you were selling like $10 water bottles or whatever.
Right. Well, you could have done a Kirkland style and you wouldn't have made it any color. Just make it as, kind of straight basic.
Could have done a hot dog shaped water bottle.
Okay, right. Fill it with like pretzels or something. I don't know. There's something you could have done with that.
Yeah, you guys have sold in bottles. That's what the problem was. Yeah, so I guess good news all around for Nike and Costco.
Good news, and how to do a collab across channels. Right, that's pretty cool.
I definitely would like a pair of these.
Yeah, I was going to say that soft kind of light gray is right up my Gen X alley. No doubt about it.
Next, good news, bad news. So last week, Killian Jornet finished the Colorado leg of his 14er linkup. The famed endurance athlete's current project is to connect all of the 14,000-foot peaks in the lower 48 of the U.S. by human power only. He's now currently biking to California with the next peak he's going to climb being Mount Whitney. All right, so is this good news or bad news for big-name outdoor athletes? Because this seems like something that would have been an absolute toast of the space. We all would have been talking about, oh, my God, you see what Killian's doing or whatever. Mm-hmm. And now it's more of a, yeah, all right, that's cool. Good job.
Well, a couple things. Yeah, when we had 4 television channels, it would have been a big deal, right? And and all the vertical magazines had their kind of sway and audiences, and there would have been a channel. But now we're flooded, Colin. So, no, I think this is bad news because what this means is it's not the end of spending, right? Brands aren't going to be spending on big name athletes. They're going to be spending big money on athletes you've never heard of and doing things that you didn't know people were even doing, right? I mean, I think that's the issue. I mean, look, good performance brands will always have to remind people, their stakeholders, that they're about their capability, about their legitimacy, and the proof that their products do what they're supposed to. Right? Just like lifestyle brands have to consistently remind people of their contemporary relevance. The fact that they're stylish or trendy continues. So both of those are two sides of the same coin. Of course, great performance brands do both, right?
Yeah.
But the point is the big name is really just how to broaden that out. There's no replacement for athlete endorsement or race sponsorship or technical testing. They create this layers of credibility that you need to be taken seriously, like again, your authenticity. But now the game is of nano influencers and user-generated content and just still people showing what they're doing, but it's less important that everyone knows who it is. It's doing of the thing, right? And you don't need to be world champion to bestow credibility on a brand anymore. You just need to be authentic, and people can look at it and realize what you're doing is real. That's the currency right now. It's just scale is just more nano and niche, right?
So it's good news for brands, bad news for athletes, right? Because I mean, the big, I mean, I can imagine. I mean, Killian's a one of one. He has his own footwear line, whatever. But it's just still like, to your point, like I understand you want these people out there doing things for you, but it used to be big money spent on these. I mean, aren't the budgets so much smaller now for getting people to represent your brand?
They are smaller in that large kind of singular object kind of way. I mean, you look what's happened to the surf industry, right? In terms of the, and kind of where they've gone with that, but. I do think there's more opportunity, though, for athletes to get paid doing what they do and stitching together kind of life. I mean, like I said, the rates that some people can charge for audiences that they've put together on social platforms are pretty significant, right?
Yeah.
And so it might not be the same singular, here's the super sponsorship you're getting, but it's still a way to kind of carve a living doing what you love. And so I actually think there's more opportunity. It's brands are the ones that are still paying more. I mean, it doesn't affect that. You still got to get your brand on the people who do the thing.
Yeah, and again, like go back to that. Normal is his brand. And he's just going to do this stuff anyway. So like make it work for your brand. But if you were a new footwear brand just launched last week called Notice, a new trail running line.
I didn't.
Right. Okay.
Sorry. But there's so many.
Well,
how can you know this?
I think I got a pair coming my way, so I'll let you know if you should notice them.
Okay.
But
maybe that's why I didn't notice.
What would you say to a brand like that? Like you should try and get like somebody to go do something like this in your shoes, and then there'd be some way to capitalize on the money it would cost to do that?
Well, somebody like this, only if there's an activation plan to ensure that you do that. I mean, it's just like, this is the fact that someone's going out there, so what? There's so much of that. It's the spend behind that. How are you going to get it out there? And is that, if that's the money that you have, is that the best thing to promote necessarily? I'm not sure it is.
Right.
I'm not sure it is, but it's still part of the conversation that needs to be had, and you need to create assets that do that. Even if it's just for your retailers or for your core kind of audience piece, you as a performance brand need to demonstrate that people who know what they're doing use your skill set, your technology, your philosophy to do what they do. That to me, that's just basic performance sports marketing. Those principles haven't changed. In the media landscape has changed, but those haven't changed. It's much like, 2000 in the internet. It's going to change everything in business. Oh my gosh, new business. No, it's old business with just new channels.
Yeah, new opportunities. Right?
Yeah.
I'm going to say it's bad news though for the opportunity to do something interesting because Killian right now you see the image.
Right.
He's out there just running around in like athletic clothes. Like dude, whatever. We all know you're going to finish this.
Yeah,
we all know that you're superhuman. I think he should be like in a suit of armor or in all like t-shirts and jeans.
See, I like that because I would watch somebody climbing Mount Whitney in plate mail.
Right?
That's amazing.
Couldn't like I'm sure they got props from like Lord of the Rings left over.
Yes.
Like send him like Aragorn's outfit or something like that from Return of the King. Send him up. There you go. Now go to all the 14ers in that.
I'm in.
Yeah. Come on, man. Do better, Killian. Jesus.
Come on.
All right, let's take a break to hear from some of our sponsors. And then when we come back with some more good news, bad news, and including something maybe from a brand you've heard of called Arc'teryx.
What's going on with them?
There was a little something in the news this week. We're going to talk about it. Just in time for fall, we're happy to introduce a new sponsor to the Rock Fight. And that sponsor, Fjallraven. Can't fjall without Fjallraven. Can't do it. And fall doesn't get nearly enough credit for hiking. Everyone thinks summer's the season, but for hikers, autumn is the real deal. You got cooler days, quieter trails, more space, and fall is exactly what Fjallraven's Keb collection is built for. It's born from trekking in northern Sweden with their jackets, fleeces, trousers, all there to let you focus on nature, all specifically designed to make cold optional. So Dave, do you have any, big fall hiking plans? You're a hiker.
I am. My big fall hiking plans are lots of small hiking plans. I am trying.
That's always that's your plan.
Well, I'm trying to make a dent in the local trails. I mean, again, Portlanders love to talk about Portland. And one of the things is just the sheer number of great trails that I've never been on, have never completed. And so I'm trying to knock some of those off because there's a ton just around where we live. So that's my fall goal, is to dig into that.
You might want to check out the Keb collection from Fjallraven to help you with that goal.
I would. I think that's a great idea.
So check out the whole Keb collection by clicking the link in the show notes or search for it when you head to fjallraven.com, where your fall begins. All right, a couple of weeks ago, we learned that mosquitoes kill more humans every year than any other animal. And like the Dalai Lama once said, if you think you're too small to make a difference, try sleeping with a mosquito. Have you actually tried sleeping with a mosquito?
It didn't work out. We weren't compatible.
I doubt the Dalai Lama was sleeping in the Wilder Pant from Royal Robbins, because the Wilder Pant, like everything else in Royal's MPT collection, has mosquito protection technology. Relying on protection through construction, MPT is the chemical-free solution to mosquito-free days in the outdoors. Dave, how are you feeling about chemicals these days? I mean, do you enjoy slathering yourself in DEET or sunblock, or are you more of a let's just get a nice barrier up?
You know, as a history person, I look fondly back on the days of DDT. Right, I miss those protests and boycotts. I think we could do better.
Think so?
Yeah, right. We could do better.
Smearing that stuff all over. Just dip me in petroleum. I don't know. Whatever it takes to keep me from getting bit or sunburned.
That's right.
To shop the entire MPT collection from Royal Robbins and to stay bite-free in these waning days of summer, head to royalrobbins.com. Today's episode of The Rock Fight's presented by Lem's Shoes. As the summer season wraps up, now is a great time to get ready for fall with Lem's. From easygoing slip-ons and refined leather lace-ups to tough, trail-ready boots, Lem's offers footwear for every occasion, and their fit is unmatched. If you've never experienced the fit of a pair of Lem's, I genuinely feel sorry for you. And Dave, what does a good-fitting shoe look like to you? What does that mean to you?
One that looks like your foot. Right?
Oh.
Let's be clear of trying to force our feet into rectangles or triangles or all these kind of crazy shapes. So anything that mimics that, I am down with.
It's like they kind of like the engineers like, well, we could cram a toe into this corner of the shoe, and it'd be
absolutely
fine.
Right. And then the bean counters tell us that we could shave a few cents off if we kind of move this in a little bit, a little less material.
Sounds like a win-win for everybody but my tonails.
That's exactly right. It sounds like a win for the pedicurist, maybe, but other than that, right?
Right. Built with comfort, durability, and versatility at their core, this collection is ready to take you wherever the season leads, and with fresh, exciting styles just around the corner. Be sure to stay tuned, but in the meantime, head to lemshoes.com right now to get your feet into the best-fitting shoe you've ever worn. Don't let our big-time production value and celebrity names fool you. Looking at you, Producer Dave, but Rockfight LLC is a small business and growing brand. And even though we have our own consigliere, he advises on other matters, we've got to consult a lawyer every now and then on the legal structures that every business needs. But for a small business like ours, the cost to hire general counsel or pay a retainer is a non-starter. So what's an outdoorsy founder to do? I mean, come on, we're not flashing that outside money. Enter Conatus Counsel. They can help your business with fractional, general counsel, and legal services, from strategy consulting to advocacy and government affairs to real-world implementation for outdoor recreation industry businesses. Forrest over at Conatus Counsel has helped Rockfight navigate some of these areas, and let me tell you, knowing someone has your back means you can focus on running your business. I mean, he had at least 3 edits to this read to, quote-unquote, protect us from ourselves. I mean, that's what I'm talking about. Forrest cares just as much about the outdoors and the outdoor industry as our listeners. So, got questions? ConatusCounsel.com to get in touch with Forrest. The first 6 hours are free. Wait, what? What? I can't say that? Oh, initial consultations are free. Okay, fine. All right, we're back with our 2 biggest, I think, good news, bad news. All right, we're ending with the biggest one here, but so everyone's, I know what you're all waiting for, everybody. Stick around. It's about to hear. It's about to be here, but just hang in there. The first, though, Mammut has launched a brand new campaign to save their products from everyday use. The series of mockumentary-style videos of the new mountain wear rescue team joins Columbia's recent effort to provide a breath of fresh air in an otherwise dull outdoor advertising landscape. Dave is actually going to be doing an episode of The Brief on this new campaign down the road, but I wanted to bring them up. I wanted to bring them up now as well. So, Dave, you and I criticize European brands for continually trying to enter the U.S. outdoor market on the back of only on the back of quality products and rarely spending resources on effective marketing. Is this new campaign by Mammut good news for international brands trying to make their mark here?
Wow, that's a lot to hoist on their shoulders. Colin, this is good news for outdoor brands in general, right? Let's be clear, they are doing it right. It's a great campaign. If you haven't seen it, I totally recommend it. Go on Instagram. It's probably on YouTube too, but out there. But they're just, again, it's the mockumentary style. So, you're kind of familiar with the format, kind of like, The Office for an outdoor brand. A little bit, I'll get into a little bit harkens to the We Are Sports Center campaign of the 90s and 2000s, where it's kind of behind the scenes, kind of of the office, inside the office. I think the thing what I give this is good news is that this is less of a brand trying to be funny than it is genuinely funny with a brand connection. And that's what makes it great.
Right. You don't need to even be an outdoor enthusiast to watch this and not get a kick out of it. They did a really nice job. Really professionally done.
couple are really great. But I will say, too, if you do work in the industry, there's a couple in there that are going to land a little bit harder than maybe for someone else.
The one where they, and all the personalities, I believe, are comedians, or they're more entertainers than they are actually like outdoor. Like Katie Burrell's in there, and there's a German comedian they hired to be their German outdoor apparel designer.
Is that Yannick, the designer?
Yeah. Oh my God. Just as like like getting mad about all the rolls being in the wrong places, we need to add more zippers to things.
There you go.
Just
there you go.
chef's kiss if you have been around this space for enough time, for sure.
Yep.
Is it bad news for the sort of core outdoor warrior, right? Because I'm thinking about, like, there's been a little gatekeepiness. I saw a couple articles written about people who are like, oh, what does this say about you're alienating your customer, or I don't know, like, or you're alienating those who are spending money with you. It's, again, just that overreaction that we saw even with the Columbia campaign.
Right. I guess if we do if we're pulling together our archetype consumer sets as we do in marketing.
Yeah.
I mean, the humorless core member would be one of them for sure. So you know that, no doubt. Look, it's a campaign. This is where people get fussed up in their own sense. It's like, it's a campaign. Should they do a campaign for the person who's more serious about their efforts and want to again, as we talked about, that performance side? Yeah, probably should do that. You know, maybe that's what I would do next. But right now, I'm going to talk about you're going to use humor and kind of an insider track to talk about our brand. So you can do both. You can walk and chew gum at the same time. Well, I should say you can hike and chew gum at the same time, people. It's okay. It's all right.
Can you remember a moment? I mean, you've been in outdoor advertising for a long time. I mean, there's definitely things that have worked. There's things that are like tried and true, and things that have been overdone. I mean, there's our silver lining maybe on kind of all the bad news in the world. Of like, we did get Columbia and now Mammut in the same season. Kind of a nice place to be. It's been a minute since we've had interesting outdoor advertising.
It has been. It's a real shift for sure. But people are. It's necessity too, just the way the fragmented mediascape is. You don't have necessarily a couple titles where I'm gonna put my print ad in front of my audience, whether they like it or not. Yeah. And they're gonna see it, and so they can kind of get away with bad stuff, right? And now you can't, right? And so you're either gonna disappear or you're gonna stand out. There's no in between.
But the takeaway probably shouldn't be from this that you have to go and do something as huge as Columbia or as creative as this. These are difficult things to execute.
They are. They both are, especially this one in the humor sense. Like I said, it's funny, not advertising funny. And that's a hard thing to do. But I think what you should take away from it is you do have to be creative. You do have to actually rise to that level, whatever the message you want to intone. There's plenty of beautiful, cool-looking stuff out there that necessarily isn't humor-based. And I would say even as a brand, if you are a young brand, a newer brand, you need to kind of set the table with being respected before you're laughed with. Right? This idea, like, especially in a performance realm, it's like you need to go out there and show who you are, be legitimate. Don't be the class clown. Right? Because that's what you'll be framed as first. Once you've got some swagger, then you can use humor. Mammut, again, they don't have to reinforce their credibility that much. That's Mammut. Right? They've been doing this for a long time. Sure. So same thing with Columbia. Like, people know what they make. So
there's like just usually we either going to go really hard at like, we're hardcore, look at it, like look at a badass, or it's softy. We're at the campsite with the acoustic guitar, and like those are like the kind of two main lanes. There's just so many other places you can go with the stuff that we do.
Well, again, but it's like you say, you softy with the, but it depends who's playing that guitar.
Well,
who's contention? How am I filming that? Right? There's a lot of ways to make that really compelling too.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, man. We saved the best for last for good news, bad news.
Is there good news here?
We're going to try and find it if there is.
Okay.
So per basically a million different sources last week, from outdoor niche outlets to the full-on mainstream, Arc'teryx.
Oh, to CNN, to NBC News.
Everybody. Like the most covered outdoor story of the year.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. It might be.
So Arc'teryx came under fire for a fireworks display they set up in the Himalaya near the Nepal-China border. The display was part of a partnership with a pyrotechnics artist whose name I'm afraid to try and pronounce, so I apologize. I'm not even going to give it a go.
Kai Guoi Chang.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Nice job, buddy.
Thank you. There you go.
According to the brand and the artist, the display, quote, utilized biodegradable, environmentally friendly materials that all stock herds have been relocated and wildlife have been coaxed away with salt bricks, end quote. And the project, quote, had passed tests in line with those set by the 2022 Beijing Winter Olympics and adhered to pollution management standards equivalent to those in Japan and Europe, end quote. I just want to interject. I got like if those were the things you had to go through, that should have been a red flag. If those are the things the boxes you had to check along the way, massive red flag. Okay, fallout was swift with the backlash originating on Chinese social media. Boycotts were called for, and a response was demanded, as many saw the display running against the brand's stance as an outdoor steward. In a post on Instagram, Arc'teryx issued the following statement. The statement read, the recent fireworks display on the Tibetan Plateau was out of line with Arc'teryx's values. We've heard your concerns and we share them. The event was in direct opposition to our commitment to outdoor spaces, who we are and who we want to be for our people and our community. We are deeply disappointed that this happened and apologize full stop. We're addressing this directly with the local artists involved, our team in China, and will change the way we work to ensure this doesn't happen again. Our expectation is that everything we do reflects our environmental ethos, and we have no tolerance for actions that do not align. We have already begun efforts to mitigate the environmental and social impacts of this event. We are grateful to our community for holding us accountable.
Yes,
so,
they did.
Dave, good news or bad news for Arc'teryx?
Well, I guess it depends. If you're getting hits on your algorithm based on feedback and comments, it's a big win. Like a big win. If you're trying to put out a PR fire, oh man, what a week it's been. What a week it's been.
I mean, it definitely, earlier, either in the week or week before, there was a lot of talk around, their stated goal of hitting $5 billion. Like, I'm not saying, I mean, look, this will all blow over. I'm sure that will be achieved pretty handily by Arc'teryx, but at the same time, it's like, hey, if we're going to hit $5 billion, watch us blow up the Himalayas.
Yeah. Which, if they'd have done that after 5 billion as kind of a celebration, that would have been something, for sure. No, I mean, look, like you said, it will pass. This is not going to interrupt where they're going. And as we all have known, they've positioned themselves as this premium thing beyond outdoor anyway. Yes. I mean, even the CEO, talked about, they don't have a competitor in the space. They don't even see themselves as a true competitor that's playing on this. And the upside is way bigger pretending to be a premium, or not even pretending, being a premium brand than it is being a core outdoor brand, So I don't think they're too worried about it. Well, that's not fair. There are plenty of people that are worried about it that are freaking out about it. I mean, it's one of those, how did, and you hear this in all the comments and stuff. How did this happen? Well, we
love to ask, what was the brief, right? And then in this one, it's like, well, I see what the brief was, but it's just, we posted on LinkedIn, like this is our old theory of the brand asshole. God, was there a better opportunity for someone to kick in the door and say, oh no, you can't do this.
Again, here we are laughing. That's the thing you take from it. But I mean, you hired this artist who's known for gunpowder and big explosions. Like, that's straight up. And we went through the whole process of, like you said, the permitting and the environmental impact to it, making sure, so no one tripped off that red, that line. And then you could take the apology as kind of being a non-apology in the sense that they kind of shift blame to the Chinese team. Like, that was not a good look.
I agree.
But this is more than a team, because the money that it would have taken and the government kind of contacts to get this done would have required a much more senior level view of what was going on. There's just no doubt. In fact, I even wondered, did this even come from Arc'teryx? Did this come from Anta? Was this a senior leadership thing in China?
Maybe. I also, it wasn't worth the effort. I mean, if you look at all the videos, okay, that's quite it's huge, but also I'm like, what were you going for, man? Like, why was this so important to even do?
The AI versions of it were just as cool looking as the actual one, and they were far funnier with, animals running for their lives,
Right. Well,
I'm sorry, that's not funny, but it is funny when they're wearing a mask and just like...
I'm trying to picture the process of this, like to your point,
right.
Okay, here's the standards. Okay, well, we could probably do the standards. That's great. Like, okay, well, we have to really be concerned about the wildlife. Like, okay, so now here's an army. You saw how big it is. Here's an army of interns out setting salt blocks to lure wild animals away from where these things are going to be, and no one once stops to go.
Setting it. I had visions of like when they go to clear a minefield and everyone's standing shoulder to shoulder looking for the mine. That's what they were doing.
This is something that in like 1963, everyone's like, wow, this was great. What an accomplishment for mankind over nature. You know, like, look what we were able to do. We were able to lure the animals away and not care at all about where they live.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, and to your point, I mean, this brand has done so much to remove itself from sort of the daily scrutiny. I mean, we almost never talk about Arc'teryx unless it's to lavish praise on their success.
Right.
And they also, I saw lots of posts, they opened themselves up to a lot of other criticisms about their sustainability goals.
Yeah.
You know, and look now, man, like, again, I don't think this is going to derail you. We know now when you're a certain size, it's not, most people aren't going to not buy the jacket because of this.
Yeah.
But you definitely are like, this might be the defining brand boner of 2025. I mean, it's going to be pretty hard to top this one.
It's going to be up there, no doubt about it.
Outside's going to try. Don't worry.
Dude, we've got a 2-horse race right now.
2-horse race for brand boner of the year.
This is a good one, actually. My gosh.
Yeah, well, all right. I don't know if we found the good news. I think we... we
did, because it was funny.
Okay. Yeah, when we think back on the episode Owen and I did about, you know, the Hall of Fame brand boners, I think this is like an automatic, no 5-year waiting period. This is just automatic in with backcountry suing people
entry,
and
right?
The Chip Wilson, Lululemon stuff, all that. So,
those innocent days.
Well, Dave, is it even an episode of the Rock Fight without a lightning round?
Rock fight, lightning round.
Let's do a lightning round.
Okay. I mean,
it's
all been pretty lightning. Let's go.
It has been, but I feel like we got some momentum. Let's keep it going.
Okay.
So according to SGB, Salt Life has signed a partnership with iKing to relaunch their eyewear. Dave, are you relieved? I know you've been waiting for the Salt Life eyewear revival to come along.
Salt in your eye. That's perfect for your sunglasses licensee. Oh my gosh, Salt Life is back.
Let's do it.
Maybe if they were a little earlier, they could have really helped stave off this whole problem in the Himalayas. I mean, Salt Life salt licks would have done the trick.
Maybe they put those the glasses on the little animals,
right?
To block it from the debris.
See, there you go.
Salt Life, we're kidding. We love you. Advertise on our show. You're welcome. You're welcome here at any time.
Good.
All right, next up in the lightning round, Mountain Warehouse announced the relaunch of Eastern Mountain Sports last week by highlighting the return of some of EMS's more notable collections of their products. As a former EMSer, I was excited to see what the new EMS looked like. But when I clicked on the links in the press release and went to EMS.com, all it said was, our site is currently unavailable in your location. Contact us anytime. We'll be back soon. So Dave, call me naive, but if I can't see your website, I mean, can I still shop for your stuff online?
Look, if a logo is changed in the woods, but no one there's to see it, is it a rebranding? I'm not sure. We, living in the Pacific Northwest, were able to see the Exalted website.
This is California bias.
It is California bias, and maybe they have PFAS in their T-shirts, and we just didn't know that. But I'll tell you, it was a healthy display of 40% off. So they're definitely moving some stuff. So I don't know if this qualifies as the rebrand necessarily, or that is the rebrand, and that's where they're going. But let's hope. Let's hope not. Let's hope this builds some strength.
They're going for the Sierra. We're going right for the discounter.
Oh, there
that's
you
what
go.
We're doing. Yeah.
Why not?
All right, last lightning round story. Bike maker Huffy released the Sledgehammer BMX freestyle frame last week. Dave, you sent this article to me. Is that because you just think that Huffy is fun to say?
Well, it was that, they kind of pulled back, and this is their first pro model in a while. And, look, mountain biking gets its juice from BMX. They're related. So I thought it was an interesting story. And
you
Huffy
like
is fun
saying
to
Huffy.
say. I do. It's not about Huffy.
It's time for a party shot.
Time for the parting shot. And just a quick one. Last week, the X Games announced a 2026 rebrand and the launch of the X Games League, which they're calling to, Dave, some of you have heard this kind of a tagline like this before. The future of action sports.
Yes.
No one's ever paired those words together.
No, not at all.
And, they really mean a league, right? Because they're comparing themselves to the NBA. There's going to be teams that exist in different markets to compete against each other and attempt to form loyal fan bases in their local city. Now, this is probably the part where you expect me to shit all over this idea and doubt that this would ever be successful. And I admit that was my first instinct. There's no way that this can work. But one thing that they're doing differently is that from the get-go, they're embracing sports betting with this league. And if you know any degenerate gamblers out there, you know that they carry no loyalty to anyone's sport. And if there's a competitive event, they are more than happy to wager on it. So betting is the lifeline I feel like these people have given themselves, because while action sports are more accepted than ever before, I don't think there's a path to sort of mainstream interest in an action sports league. But if the gamblers get on board, that could provide enough attention and money to give this thing a shot. So that's my parting shot.
Really? I didn't know that. Wow.
I think it's pretty smart, actually.
But action sports tend to draw younger viewers, younger participants.
I'm not here to judge anybody, Dave.
I am. I'm here
Actually,
to
I
judge.
totally am. The show's called The Rock Fight. It's
right.
Totally, yeah.
That parting. Oh, man. Okay.
Yeah, no, they're going fantasy. They want to do like fantasy style teams, and sports betting is going to be part of it from the get go.
Oh, fantasy. Again, that's just undersold. No armor.
It won't work without it. I mean, who cares?
Axes.
Oh, hey, the Portland skateboarders and BMXers are going up against the San Diego skateboarders and BMXers. You think either one of us is going to be like, oh, man, I'm going to start talking smack to each other about our action sports teams? It's never going to happen. They need the gamblers.
Right. Wow.
Now, you could argue if you need the gamblers, do you have something?
I was thinking more of a side benefit than the actual premise.
It was in
but there it is.
Story on
there
Gear
you go.
Junkie. All right, everyone, that's the show today. We want your emails. Send them to
Colin.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. I just I need to say something. I want to issue an apology to Arc'teryx. Dear Arc'teryx, I'm sorry I laughed at your expense. The situation in Tibet was, from a communications perspective, an obvious misstep. The optics were bad, the timing was worse, and public response was immediate. And the memes, they were effective and funny. The suggested new tagline of "Leave all trace" was particularly good. But at Snow Lamu's lament of "Please don't destroy our mountains" hit hard. In hindsight, it's clear that laughter, however justified, came at someone's expense. Your unforced error. So, for my part in that, I am sorry. I do believe in this case my co-host Colin is somewhat to blame. He did send me the first report of the mishap and framed it as funny, but I know we promised to do better at laughing at things that represent our values. So, thank you.
You can rectify the situation today, Arc'teryx, by advertising on the Rock Fight.
That's right. If you were to do that, this would just disappear.
Oh, boy. Yeah, I don't feel bad milking this, for those of us still listening to this episode, because this is not going to come along again for a while.
No, not at all. Right? But now we have an apology.
Oh, my God. That's the best. Good job, Dave. Good
Did
job.
you like me for blaming you?
Yes.
Right, there you go.
I'll wear that. All right, send your emails. Send them to myrockfight@gmail.com. The Rock Fight is a production of Rock Fight LLC. Today's producer was Producer Dave. Art direction provided by Sarah Gensert. For myself, Colin True. Thanks for listening, and here to take us out, he's not setting off any fireworks, except the ones that he probably sets up on stage every night when he's out there.
Those are pyrotechnics.
Yeah. Nothing to do with art.
No.
Or the Himalaya. Krista Makes is here to sing the Rock Fight song. We'll see you next time, Rock Fighters.
Rock fight.